And so what brings you out this way?
Brings me out this way is some troubles with my family, which most of us have, and a little bit about myself. My name is Chris, and I feel like there's a lot of times, people. It's not just drugs that bring people out here. It's not just mainly many people think it's drugs that bring us out here. And a lot of it's can be stemmed from mental health issues. I have a theory that there's a lot of mental health since we have ETS here in Riverside. But at the same time, we also have a very strong when it comes to like NA, there's a big following here in Riverside. So people come here, but when they go back out, sometimes it sucks because that's what also makes people think that there's a lot of drugs and stuff. But when it comes down to it, like I know a lot of right now, like there's a lot of hate towards homeless people, and like a lot of it's misunderstood and stuff like that. Because a lot of us will sit there and we'll clean up our trash, we'll pick up trash that ain't even ours, and and then you got some of the ones that come out of ETS because ETS can't help them no more, and the ones yelling at themselves, and being troublesome sometimes, defecating on the walls and shit like that and stuff like that. Sorry.
You got.
And it sucks because it reflects on us homeless, and like back in the day, they used to have outlets for like everywhere outside or whatever like that, and if we needed to charge our phone or whatever, we could do so. But then now, like, the city came and like they literally took out all the outlets. It makes it so hard for us to get a hold of our families. It makes it hard for us to find any resources to anything that we need help for, and when you're just trying to survive day to day, sometimes it's kind of hard to like go about finding resources in other ways when you don't have. It's an easy way to like look that up, and so a lot of us don't get help. A lot of people don't even care enough about their lives to even get help from themselves, and it's sad because I'm one out here that really cares and gives a crap about my life, and when you're surrounded by a bunch of people who don't, it could be a little scary sometimes, what I'm saying? Like someone doesn't care about what happens to them if they go back to prison, if they live or not, and having to deal with them on a daily basis, it could be kind of freaking it can be an uneasy ride, and
Yeah.
so like it's good to know that like sometimes some of us do want to get out of here, and we're not just trying to stay out here for forever. It's a tough ride out here. It's not glamorous. It's not like, oh, I get to do whatever I want, stuff like that sometimes, because like regardless, we still have guidelines and principles and stuff that we have to uphold to, that keeps us from going to jail for a long time. I got very lucky when I went to prison, because I went because my dealer at the time snitched on me and my girlfriend, and he had a gun in the trunk, and I let him drive because my lady was asleep in the back seat. She had a driver's license. It was her car. I had a suspended license, so I wasn't trying to worry about all that, so I had him drive. Well, when the cops pulled us over and they searched the cab and the trunk, they didn't find anything, but they had the driver gaffled up, already in handcuffs. Like he went and he freaking he told them where everything was. So when they found it, they handcuffed all of us and they took us to the jail, to the substation, and like all of us are denying it, but then they start questioning my girlfriend, like, okay, if it's not yours but it's your vehicle, who else had control of the vehicle, knowing damn well who they pulled over. So at that point I was mad because my girlfriend had never been in handcuffs before, and it was my fault that was the case right now. So I told them that it was all mine, and I was like, it's mine, what's yours? I said, all of it, man, just get them the hell out of here. And then so I took the fall for that, and when I went to prison, I was able to tell that to the guy who represented my race, and I got given like a golden pass, if you will, because he's like, look, he said, you seem like a good kid with a good head on your shoulders. I'm not gonna put you in line unless you want to be put in line. Other than that,
What is put in line?
to take care of stuff that when people mess up and they need
Take care of business.
Exactly, yeah. So told me he wouldn't put me in line if I didn't want to be put in line, you know, and they get back, they give you a TABE test, right, when you go to jail, and like you're graded from 0 to 12.9. I had 12.4, so I was able to get whatever job I wanted to, go to vocational classes, whatever the hell, and then so like I picked vocational electronics, because I always see that someone's gonna need to be able to freaking repair all those robots that are eventually gonna take over, you know. So at that point, you know, he's like, go to school, don't be a dirtbag, and you know, go to yard every day, and then you're good. So that doesn't get handed out very lightly at all, you know. Like from in my head, I don't think that gets handed out at all, like really. I feel like, and it's sad too, because I feel like if I had not picked to go, cause I'm mixed, right? German, Irish, Russian, Native American, Mexican. So I had an option to go with the homies to the Paisas, or I can go with the Woods. I feel like if I would have went anything other than going with the whites, I would have left with more time than I was sentenced to, you know. And that's some real stuff too, right there, because there's a lot of people that get sentenced to a year or two, and now they're in long. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. It was nuts. And like, I met a bunch of lifers because they sent me to Old Folsom, and Old Folsom's like the.
You went to Old Folsom for a drug charge?
It was a possession of controlled substance while armed with a loaded firearm.
Okay.
A possession of controlled substance for sale. So
were you in the game? Why'd you have a firearm? You weren't just using. Were you in the game?
It was drivers.
Oh, you took everyone's charge.
It was drivers,
Gotcha.
but it was my drugs. But
I see.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like otherwise, dude, like I've handled my business always to the point where I never felt like I had to carry a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, that's just stupid, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always gonna work out in your favor, you know? So, like, if you pay attention to who you're dealing with, and this is even in real business, real life business, and stuff like that too, like, as long as you're doing what you have to do correctly, and you're not screwing people over, and you're not freaking making a bad name for yourself, dealing with unsavories and stuff like that, why would you even have to worry about that? You know what I'm saying? And besides who I was dealing with, you know, like, and getting my stuff from, like, yeah, okay, he had a weapon, but everybody else that I had to deal with, I didn't have to worry about that. Or if they did have weapons, I never caused a situation to have to need one, or to have one like aimed at me in an improper way. The only times that ever happened was just when people were being stupid. They're.
Let me ask you a question as a layman, because you know, don't tell me what I want to hear. Just tell me what you think. Did prison kind of give you like a structure?
For 10 years deep, and like, yeah, all because, you know, they had to take care of something that they didn't necessarily want to, per se.
Who did you run with?
The Woods.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I got lucky that, you know, I was actually able to go and like talk to somebody that was really gonna look at the whole picture and then be like, man, you know what, this kid doesn't deserve to be, doesn't need to waste his life in here, you know what I'm saying?
So you are to like still be with General Pop?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all my life, you know, and like, I'm thankful that I never really got into like the politics of like even out here on the streets. Yeah, because I mean, like, how it's supposed to be is you make somebody, you don't break somebody. You know what I'm saying? So like having somebody 23 years old, I turned 23 in prison, you know, 31 now, but it was more so like man, this kid has a bright future ahead of him, you know, he only had a year to do, so it's like, get him out of here, you know, and have him, you know, start being a part of society, you know, and do right, you know, instead of just being stuck in the system and in prison for the rest of my life. Because there's somebody I met in there, his name was Rufus. He's like freaking, at the time he was like already like good, almost 80 years old, and he went to prison when he was 17 with like 18 months to do, and he never left. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. And you know, he was telling me back when these there's this thing back in the day called mutual combat, where like if he had to go take somebody out, you know, he's like, all right, this is what you do. If you ever have to take anybody out, he's like, make sure you poke yourself a time or two first, and then go get him. Because at that point, it's mutual combat, and it's only 2 years. So he had 40 something charges of mutual combat, and that's what got him like there. So
Moral code to live by.
I had that already, thankfully.
So so does prison reinforce that?
It can if the proper people are around, because I feel like a lot of the reason why there's lack of respect and so many other things out here is the fact that when a lot of these people were growing up to begin with, they didn't have good people out here to like let them know, hey, that's a no-no, you know, or you know, that's okay, can't do that, can't do this, you know, stuff like that. And it's and I feel like for a period of time there, like a bunch of the really good, like, yeah, if they were handling criminal activity or whatever like that, you know, like they the ones that still had those morals and that those principles and standards to hold themselves by, you know, like I feel like a lot of them went away at a very vital point for a lot of the youngsters that needed some structure, needed some guidance, that didn't really get that, and especially with everything else going on out here to where how it's been now compared to then, you know, like it's you know, I feel like a lot of that is to do with because of a lot of good people, minded people were put away.
And they didn't learn the lessons.
And they didn't get to teach the younger ones.
It seems like you got taught those lessons at a young age, right? So who were those influences that you had to teach you these lessons, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of it, not even really street coach. I was raised, the way I look at it, I was raised proper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was raised with, like, you know, have respect for people, you know, always respect your elders. You know, even when they're acting dumb or something like that, you know, you try to freaking, don't just fly off the handle right away, you know, you sit there, even if you feel disrespected by an elder, you know, you don't disrespect them by trying to freaking get your point across that, hey, I feel disrespected in this, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's proper manners to go about things, and then some people can't take that. You know, there's been plenty of times when like I felt disrespected by somebody, you know, and I let them know, and they wanted to take it to a whole nother level. When I'm like, dude, look, I'm not even trying to take it there. I'm just letting you know, like, hey, like, you have your boundaries, I have mine, you know, and respect that, and then everything will be good. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, you
know, there's been a couple times where I've almost got into it with some older people, but it's because they're so used to freaking everybody just disrespecting them and stuff like that that they're not able to
You seem like you're a smart guy. You could probably like,
yeah, I know I do a lot.
You could probably like, no, not that, like in the normal world I'm talking about, you could probably like organize the people on the streets, right? Like, you seem like you got like the talent to,
you know, I try to, but like nobody wants to listen to the gothic metalhead.
Oh, that's your thing?
Yeah, that's really it though, dog. Like, on some real stuff, like I know I can spit some freaking fire, and I know that like I constantly like try to like let people know, but I feel like the main thing is like a lot of these thugs that think they're gangsters can't really recognize what gangster really fucking is, you know, and that's being able to take care of your people, you know, make sure that certain things are upheld and kept in manner, you know what I'm saying, and not letting stuff get way too out of balance and stuff like that, you know, and man, I've had OGs tell their own people, like, hey, dude, like this guy right here is more gangster than you'll ever be, you know what I'm saying, and like that's a trip too, because like at that point, you know, I could have had freaking my nails painted or freaking long black hair and freaking probably some eyeliner on, dude, but like at that point, you know, like when you're a straight man who doesn't give a crap what anyone else thinks, you know, and like
you brought up the goth, the metal and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of that from the outside looking in has like an anarchist vibe to it. Do you think that like a lot of that messaging will force an individual to be like, all right, let me go all in, let me do my thing and see what I can get out of it, and they end up on the streets and they end up like living that life where it's like there's somebody in a mansion singing these songs for a kid to really live it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of different because unfortunately, like metal is comprised of a million different subtypes, and like there are like my whole thing is like I've always felt like when you actually listen to like stuff that's not like death metal where they're just literally talking about like death and all this other stupid stuff, like not to say that I don't like it, because the way I look at it is like that's like it's like listening to a horror movie, you know what I'm saying? Like listening to albums, like listening to a horror movie. You're like spooky music is like watching a scary movie and stuff like that, and like that's the way I look at it. And like being able to do so, like I can tell, I can sense when like they're singing about that stuff. I'm not gonna sit there and like build on it. Like I have one friend who like is just completely obsessed, not obsessed, I should say. It's probably like just he likes the fucking Purge movies way too damn much. You know what I'm saying? And like, and then he's actually made a lot of like, from when I first met him, is like his anger issues were like completely like way off balance, and like to now a couple years later, like being able to like talk to him and stuff like that, like I have been able to freaking help him out to where he's not so, I don't even know what the word I want to use for that, but like
when you look at like your childhood, sir, what do you think was like something that like would really influence you to just not, like you talking about this attitude of not caring? Did you have a rough childhood coming up, or you?
Yeah. My mom, from when I was 5 years old to 22, she had cancer on and off, and like I used to be one that used to like anything other than weed or drinking, like it was a no-no for me. Like I was just like wouldn't play that and it took my mom getting cancer for the third time and me believing the misconception of third time's the charm, whether it be good or bad. When my mom got cancer for the third time when I was 17, I literally didn't know how to handle my emotions and process that properly, and I thought that my mom was gonna die like then, and thankfully at one point, like I think when I was like 14 or 15 or whatever, like I got my mom to start smoking the weed when she was going through her chemo, and I like to look at that as it tacked on an extra 5 years to her life, and I'm grateful that I did that, because it really did help her. But that whole time, like when I was 5, my mom had her thyroid removed, and that regulates all your hormones. So to have a mom that's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde at any given moment, it's tough, especially when you're just the kid that wants everybody to be happy and to smile and like just wants not to focus on the hard stuff,
Did that cause it sounds like you're like the leader of the house at a young age. You're the leader of the house at a young age. What forced you to like start doing like the hard stuff?
Well, like I said, when I was 17, that's what got me to start doing that. And then I had a brother that's 5 years older than me. Or I have a brother that's 5 years older than me, and he was kind of like the one that never got in trouble. He kind of freaking, like when he did smoke weed, he kind of like kept more of a hat on, a cat in the bag. You know what I'm saying? And like they didn't really know. He had his bongs like hidden it behind his guitar amps in the garage and shit like that. So like it wasn't as easy to tell as like once me, like when they found out I smoked weed, like I felt like there's no need to hide it. You know what I'm saying? So like I ran that shit, and but for me, it helped because it just helped me. Not to say that my mom was right, but like or wrong, but like when I was younger and they found out that I smoked weed, like my mom would let me because I was easier to deal with. But then again, at the same time, like when she can't handle her own stuff, it had to have been tough enough for her to just deal with me, period.
What is it about this area right here that it's like so active, but like this crime and homelessness? What do you think it is about this area? Because a lot of people, it's like a magnet, right? Right
here, there's no should I say, like there's no Magnolia gang, if you will. You know what I'm saying? This isn't anyone's like like, yeah, this could still be their stomping grounds or like their but like there's no like hood that like is comprised of like La Sierra and Magnolia. Like, yeah, you got La Sierra, you know, and stuff like that, you know, but at the same time it's nobody has whole like La Sierra is like up more towards the park. La Sierra Magnolia is just like pretty much just free for all, if you will, kind of, you know.
So anybody can come in here and do what they got to do.
Pretty much. Now, is it gonna be everything that they gotta do to be? Yeah, I don't know about. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It really depends, you know, because like people like me, like I will still hold. Like there's some people that are not allowed on the on Magnolia because of things that they've done, you know, and stuff like that. So like when I see those people, like even though I'm normally not a freaking confrontatious person and stuff like that, you know, but like I truly feel like, man, if you did something to get kicked off of the block, like then, you know, you need to stay off the block, you know what I'm saying? And like, so I will freaking go and I will press them and stuff and make sure they get the fuck off the street.
I saw a group of like 10 kids one time. I was like, that's the biggest group I ever seen over here. Is that like a group from the river bottom, or are they just wandering?
I don't know, because like sometimes there can be the actual like little kids out here. Like normally there's really like not there's not too many like youngsters out here. Like they'll be out here, but then they'll hopefully sometimes like go back home or
go sit
like
down.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, but there's a lot of us that, you know, some of did come from the river bottom.
You stayed out there?
I never have. Oh yeah, I've been down there a couple times. But like I don't tend to go down there. Like me, I like to I'm a man of action, you know. Like I don't like to be stagnant, and I don't like to waste my time, you know, because I feel like I'm wasting my life at that point, and like that shit just like that kicks my anxiety in the ass, you know. Like, so I have to freaking. I feel like I have to be out here. If I'm gonna freaking sit here and try to build and get myself out of this situation, then I gotta be out here doing stuff, not sitting in the freaking river bottom and just like getting high all damn day and just like living, like not even living life, but just like not even surviving it at that point either. It's just being there, wasting space, kind of, you know.
I heard there's a lot of like stuff that goes on down there that's pretty wild. So we don't got to get into that, but
Nah, but unfortunately that shit even happens out here, dude. And like there's a couple times where like I've seen that like certain situations, you know, like because you know you do have, you know, older people out here. You do even have youngsters out here that are like that are just weird. You know what I'm saying? That didn't get taught like what's right was right, and what's wrong is wrong. You know, and like people still try to creep on females and stuff like that. And when I see that shit going down, like I don't let that doesn't fucking slide.
Yeah, I've interviewed quite a few females, and they said it's treacherous. I heard for them.
It is, dude, and you know it sucks, dude, too, because like it sucks too because there's a lot of times when like females like, you know, they see somebody who's sexy or fine in their eyes, you know, but doesn't know all the dark shit they freaking, you know, do and stuff like that. So like they'll go with that person as opposed to like me, like I'm trying to freaking do the damn right thing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of times when if I see someone out here that like I hadn't seen before, you know, and I'll go try to help them and see what the hell like is that why they're out here and stuff like that. And you know, like most of the damn time they you know, they'll see that, oh, who's that, and they'll go off of them. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna sit there and try to like.
Not to get on your business, but like it seems like it'd be hard to get like have a relationship out of it. Like the people just like the people like bounce, or
it's either they bounce, or they're gonna go and they're gonna find that one that's just like completely toxic for them, and they're just gonna sit there and stake with it for some reason. I do not understand.
Yeah, I see.
I do not understand that, but yeah, most of the time, like I mean, I can see it being hard. I've been on the streets with in a relationship before.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like we also had a freaking vehicle, and we also had, you know, and with the vehicle, man, dude, so much more doors are open, dude. Cause like over here, like I can't even get to my mail. My mail's on Canyon Crest, my family. It's just hard without having a certain.
So, one last or two last questions. Like, what would it take for you to hit rock bottom and say enough is enough? I'm out of here. Like, I'm trying to change it. Like, what would it take?
That, man, that's happened a long ass time ago, dude. Like, it's more than just like getting to that point and like saying that. Like, some of us, like, if we go to treatment or whatever like that, when we get out of treatment, nothing's really gonna change. We're gonna have to come back out to these streets, you know, or we're not gonna know the right steps to get and stay, you know, in a good manner. Like me, because my mom was sick for so long, like, I was the one that had to take care of her the most, you know. My brother, when he got to a certain age, started working. My grandma was working, and so like a lot of years I had to put off of my own life just to take care of my mom. And it sucks because like I know how to take care of somebody more so than I know how to take care of myself. And then on top of it too, like, to then have my family sit there and like chastise me about, like, you know, where I am in life and stuff like that, and like, oh, well, why didn't you freaking do better before? And then it's like, dude, like, had I done that, then who would have taken care of mom? You know, but they don't see that, and they're so damn self-righteous and like in their own freaking manner that like when I try to explain that to them, to get them to see that, like, they won't even let me get to the points where like if I bring someone up from the past, I'm trying to bring it up so I could therefore say like explain why my actions were my actions or whatever like that, and then to move on and say that like, yeah, I see that now, blah blah blah. But like, I'm the kind of person to where like I'm gonna start that and I'm gonna try to, like, you know, portray something. So if you're gonna sit there and cut me off halfway through it and not even let me get to the point to where like I'm trying to freaking be like, hey, you know, like, I'm sorry I did that, you know, I did that because of this, that, or whatever like that, you don't even let me get to that point, then like, you know what, screw you, dude. Like, how are you gonna expect me to sit here and respect you and like when you got problems, but like when I'm trying to explain and even learn from mine and share that with you, you don't even let me get to that point, then I don't even want to to you at that point, you know what I'm saying?
What advice would you give out to some young child? I call them babies, you know, that wants to partake in this life. But
Keep your head, eyes up, head forward at all times. When you have friends, don't sit there and talk to them, you know, don't sit there and put them down all the damn time. As friends, we should be pushing each other up and forward at all times, you know. And you know, like when my friends do like talk shit to me and like and stuff like that, you know, like, I'm not, don't feed into it, don't continue that behavior, because then after a while people start feeling some type of way, people start, you know what I'm saying, acting differently, you know. And it sucks, dude. Like, just be communicative, you know. Like, a lot of people think, okay, I would say this, it's not communication that's freaking key. I believe it's comprehension, because I can sit here and talk some blue in my face. If you're not picking what I'm putting down, like, I might as well be talking to a bag of bricks, right?
Yeah.
And like, the reason why I'm like, the best friends that I do have are best friends is because when we don't understand something that the other one's saying, you know, like, we'll freaking ask, we'll make sure that we're on the same page. And at that point, you know, like, I respect what page they're on, I respect the page I'm on, and then, you know, we understand that, or we can sit there and work to get onto the same page. So it's either, you know, just understand that other people have different viewpoints, or work together to get on the same page.
When I'm saying, when they get out here, that's advice for like relationships, because when they get out here and they got that first night sleeping on the streets, like, what was that? What is that like?
It's not fun. I don't even remember my first night on the streets, but like, it's not fun. It's not worth it, man. Like, go make it to where you're freaking living in a house, not a trailer, when you're old, you know. Like, you actually have muscles still and not skin and bones because you just smoked all your freaking body mass away, you know. Like, build and build and build. If you want to get higher, you want to get, like, just wait until you're old and like retired in a house, not a trailer, you know. And like, you know, you really don't have too much people to tell you what the hell to do, and like, if you're home all day, that's, you know. But like, don't subject yourself out here like soon. It's not worth it. Like I said before, like, you know, like, none of this is worth. My son's future with his dad is a lot more worth all of this, you know, than being out here and all that other stuff. So like, at that point, man, like, that's why, like, I just try to get the hell out of this. Thankfully, I'm going to my dad's soon in Hesperia, and I have my own room there and stuff like that. You know, it's just tough. It's not something I would suggest to be out here.
I say thank you, Chris, man, for telling your testimony and telling your story. You know, whenever you see us out here, you know, just holler at us,
And you,
because we're out here, man. If you need any help or whatever, just talk to us, man. And thank you so much.
no problem.